Hello friends, seriously thought that he was eventually going to run out of things to say in these intros here, bringing you another Dota 2 video on behalf of Dota Alchemy, in which we're going to be covering my hero tier list for the offlane in 7.22G, the updated version for post-calibration. And you may have noticed, if you're very observant, that this hero tier list is the exact same as the one that I posted a few days ago, except it's missing one particular hero. But that's where you'd actually be mistaken, because the hero is on the list, it's just in the Gaben tier of heroes instead of S or A tier. And essentially what happened is I thought that Night Stalker at the start of the patch was a good hero, possibly S tier, possibly A tier. I wasn't 100% sure. I went out, I did research, I looked at how people were playing it, I started practicing it, and I can say that this hero does not belong in any game ever. And I don't just mean a game of Dota 2. I mean, no Valve-associated game shouldn't be in World of Warcraft, shouldn't be in God of War, shouldn't be in fucking Dr. Mario. It shouldn't be in any game. This hero is going to get nerfed. I would definitely abuse it. I've won 5 out of 7 of my calibration games because I was lucky enough to not have the hero banned and to have first pick on my team. And surely if the enemy team had first pick, they would have taken this hero and they probably would have won because it's absolutely broken. So I would highly recommend learning it, and that's what this video is. It's a Night Stalker guide, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So first and foremost, as usual, let's take a look at the skills and items that you should build on Night Stalker. So first, you want to max out Void. This ability makes it so that you're not useless every 5 minutes, for 5 minutes, ever since it got buffed to not do half damage during the day. So this is really great to have maxed out first. At level 4, you want to have 2 points in Hunter in the Night, and this is essentially because during the first night, you are not really necessarily strong enough to roam. You'll have like boots, bracer, so your kill threat is not extremely high, but your threat of just sitting in a lane and zoning with high attack speed and high movement speed is high. So essentially the crippling fear in the early levels does not really contribute to what you want to do. Then at level 6, you go for Dark Ascension. This is one of the best abilities in all of Dota. You want to use this off cooldown, use it essentially like it's a big team fight ultimate. So you want to fight every time this is up, and dodge fights every time it's down. Even maybe at night. If you aren't absolutely sure that you're stronger at night, it's even good to fight around this Dark Ascension. That's how powerful it is. After that, once you get max in the Void ability, you want to go 1 point in Crippling Fear. During the night, the level 1 ability, the duration is good enough, so you don't really need to max it out. Max out Hunter in the Night instead. Well, level 11, 200 health, 200 mana is kind of useless. Level 15, Lifesteal is very useless. Go for the 15 strength. It makes you do more damage, makes you tankier. Level 20, 50 damage. The 40 movement speed is honestly not that bad if we're talking support Night Stalker, but when you're a core Night Stalker, you legitimately, with this talent and these other talents, transition to be a ridiculous late game carry. So you want to go for the 50 damage into 140 Hunter in the Night attack speed. Once you have this, you can start building into like Basher, MKB, and you can duke it out with most carries in Dota. So the items, we don't see them all here because this is the kind of general builds on Dota buff, but you want to start with 2 tangos, 1 stout shield, and then 3 mangoes, and use every single mango to just keep voiding your enemies or voiding for ranged creep blast hits. You want to go for phase boots, bracer, wand, into drums if you're not sure what to get. If it's a decent Spirit Vessel game and nobody else is going to get one, Spirit Vessel is your item. If it's a good Medallion game and nobody else is going to get one, like AKA they have a lot of physical damage on that enemy team, Medallion is good, but you always want to build one of these small items, Medallion, Spirit Vessel, or drums, and then build into the Aghanim Scepter, which is basically the main reason that this hero is ultra broken right now. So it's nice to have one of these kind of mana regen items before, in a smaller item before the Aghanim Scepter. After the Ags, building into BKB, Basher, MKB, sometimes a Blink Dagger if there's a backline that you can jump on, but you essentially at this point just go for very luxury items that are just going to help you carry the game. So the early game on Night Stalker is very formulaic and very simple. One thing that I do want to say at the in regards to the pre-game fight at the runes is that you want to make sure that you're playing around one of your support's vision. This hero's vision sucks. If you're alone in your lane, then you need to sit in trees where the enemy team cannot see you before you see them. You can't play as if you have vision. You have to play around somebody else's vision. So when it comes to laning on this hero, it's, like I said, very simple. Go back, block the creeps, and the main thing about Night Stalker in the lane is that you want to abuse the fact that he has a lot of very efficient things about him. So he's not efficient in terms of killing heroes or being really aggressive or anything like that, or pushing lanes, but it's very difficult to shove him out of a lane because he has high base armor, he has high base damage, he has 5.8 base regen. You sit in a lane, you be a melee creep who has very efficient stats, and you get as many last hits as you can, drawing creep aggro by right-clicking an enemy hero. Void should be used to secure range creep last hits, to secure melee creep last hits if you are getting completely zoned, to harass the carry, where you want to utilize the slow to either trade with them with right clicks, because it's also got the component of slowing their attack speed, or you use the slow so your support can hit them as well. But most of the time you want to use your void just to secure last hits, because this hero, if you can get out of the laning phase and not be totally behind, he's absolutely amazing. So here we are, we hit the first night, and one of the bigger mistakes that people make on Night Stalker at this point is they would get active, and the problem with that is that you can get active in another lane, and then because it's just so early on into the game and all you have is Boots Bracer, you're not actually strong enough to kill anybody else. So what I look for is I just look to defensively rotate if people are being incredibly aggressive in the other lanes, so I can TP in and defend, but I look to just sit in my lane, kill anybody that enters that lane, and farm. So I've had a lot of games when I first started playing this hero where I'd roam on the first night, I wouldn't get any kills, and then on the next night, because I had fallen off, people weren't scared of me. So sitting in a lane, a lot of the time, will result in everybody leaving your lane. Like, as you can see, nobody's here. Terrorblade has went to the jungle. So considering Night Stalker scales incredibly well, this is perfectly fine with him. So once the laning stage breaks down, there are two main things that you need to pay close attention to on Night Stalker, and these things dictate how you play the game, where you play on the map, who you're going to kill, etc. So the very first thing is it day or is it night? The second thing is Dark Ascension available. So here we have a state in this game where it's daytime and I do not have Dark Ascension. So the way that I want to look to play the map is as passively as possible. I want to tell my team, hey guys, I'm not coming to any fights. Let's split up. Let's farm, I might jungle, I might respond to tower pushes, even if the enemy team has better late game and I want to pressure them. I don't pressure unless it's nighttime, because this hero just doesn't really do much unless it's nighttime or you have Dark Ascension available. So you can see here, in this particular scenario, I'm chasing a Monkey King who's jumping between trees because my Wraith King is farming bot, so there's no point in me being there, and my Shadow Fiend is farming the triangle, so there's no point in me being here either. So really the only thing I can do right now is just kind of passively chase this Monkey King as I'm walking towards the mid lane and maybe the top lane to push it out. Luckily, we end up getting him on the tree, which is cool, but very defensive movement, not chasing 3 people or 5 or anything like that, just chasing one guy for a gank. It's very low risk, probably medium reward, but the most important thing is that there's very low risk associated with it. Once I have the Dark Ascension, that's when I start to look to not chase somebody on my side of the map. I don't play defensively, I play aggressively. So dive this tower, tell my team, go, go, go. I have Dark Ascension. This ability, in my opinion, one of the big differences between the old Night Stalker and this Night Stalker is that you would be better suited to play this hero similar to like a Tidehunter, where even if it's nighttime, it's still sometimes better to play around the Dark Ascension just because it makes you so incredibly good at teamfighting due to the fact that it gives you all of this vision so you can see all of the important targets in the fight, and then it gives you this ridiculous damage and ability to just run over trees so you're completely unkillable and do 10,000 damage. So once it hits nighttime, what you want to do is try to get your team to group up and push a lane. Ideally, you don't want to be the one pushing a lane because you want to stay at a vision. Since it's nighttime, the enemy team is going to be very scared of you, so you want to abuse that. You're going to get a lot more farm on the map if you aren't showing, because they're going to be like, oh, a Night Stalker is going to be in my lane, so I can't farm here. So you get your team to push a lane, you jungle very aggressively near the lane where they're pushing, and you use your ridiculous night vision to try to scout for a good fight to start. And you take basically any fight. So you can see here, see the Monkey King bot. Of course, we're playing on their side of the map because we want to be aggressive. Chase the Monkey King endlessly. Kill him, use the Dark Ascension. And now that the Monkey King is dead, and they've obviously split up due to this pick-off happening, we smoke across the map and look for a kill in our jungle. Whenever you have something like this happen, where you start a gank on a particular hero that you're relatively sure that your team is going to be able to follow up and kill them, you want to go for more. Because this hero, one of the greatest strengths with this hero, I should say, is the fact that he can chase endlessly. So you can see that I chase for more, and I almost get the Wind Ranger's TP, unfortunately don't, but in a large portion of the games that I played in calibration with this hero, I was able to chase farther and turn a one-man pickoff into like a three-person pickoff, and then get Roche, and then get a tower. But you can see that we just keep chasing the enemy team around the map. We don't give them any space to farm because the daytime really sucks with Night Stalker, so you want to make sure that you're getting as much pressure as you can get during that nighttime. So the next clip that I want to show you just demonstrates how I think is a very effective way to play Night Stalker in team fights, and that is essentially to, and even for pickoffs, just to pick some squishy important support and you zone them. You run at them with Crippling Fear, you run at them with Void, and then your team takes a fight elsewhere while you split the fight into people trying to save the squishy important support and the other people that are fighting. So here we can see my team's not really in fighting position, but still I see the little Shrek. He's out of position. I wasn't really intending to go there. He pops the Edict. I back off. Fight starts mid. I know that the little Shrek is to the left because I zoned him earlier, and I go on him while my team is focusing on the other heroes that I know if the Leshrac is not there, and I have vision of the Gyro too, that there's no way that they can fight my team. Probably the single most important thing that I learned in playing Night Stalker is in regards to both team fights and playing around the map, and it's that this hero has this ridiculous ability to chase endlessly because of Dark Ascension and because of Hunter in the Night, along with Void being 4 seconds slow and an 8-second cooldown. So people know that you can chase endlessly. So what do? You abuse that, and you intentionally don't commit to things knowing that you can force the enemy team to mess up and use abilities and use TPs ineffectively. So here we have a scenario, but once again, this is in regards to map as well. It doesn't just have to be in team fights, but here we can see people are very afraid of this hero. So I pop Dark Ascension. There's a pickoff happening over here where Centaur is getting gone on. He does have the blink. He used the Stampede. And over here, the Grimstroke, who is attempting to save him, now pops the Grimstroke bubble on himself and walks over here to the left. So he immediately goes into I need to get the fuck out of here mode, and he calls his SF to come over and help him. He even uses the bug on me. So this Centaur is completely out in left field, and he's been ditched by his team because people always gravitate towards the Night Stalker. So that's it for this video. Make sure to leave a comment below on what you think the worst Brazilian football anime is. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video.